Welcome back. So again, I have Joe here. We're going to be going over inspiratory muscle training using a threshold trainer. So the threshold trainer is super great because it's really low instrumented, super easy to use, super easy to adjust, and they're pretty affordable. This is about $25, I think, on Amazon. You can get these pretty much anywhere nowadays. Again, just for added safety measures, we have a filter here. You were going to use a 22 millimeter filter if you're looking to buy one, and then the attachable mouthpiece. You could technically just breathe through the filter, but it's not super comfortable. This is a hard plastic. Now, the threshold is called as such, and Joe, actually, I'll have you hold this while I demo this real quickly. It's called the threshold trainer because we set a pressure threshold by this spring-loaded plunger in the device. So we can ratchet this up or ratchet it down to adjust the amount of pressure required for air to flow into the device. So we create a threshold they have to overcome for each breath, right? The advantage of using this type of device, again, outside of just it being really easy, it allows us to have a very specific training load. You may see other devices out there that use flow or resistance to flow to impose training resistance or training load. The issue with that is lower flow rates carry lower resistance, or the flow rate in general influences resistance. This, no matter how fast or how slow they breathe, it's the same exact pressure. So I can be very specific in knowing what I'm giving my patient to train with. So again, we'll have this placed on here. Now, typically for respiratory muscle training, for a strength-based protocol, we're gonna go 50 to 60% of their MIP. Endurance-based protocols will go somewhere between maybe 15 to 25%. We're gonna demonstrate a strength-based protocol today just to be safe. We're gonna just do 30%. Again, always gonna, an added layer of safety for these demonstrations. Joe, as we showed in the previous video, his peak pressure is about 110 centimeters of water on average. We're gonna set this to about 30. One of the downsides of threshold trainers, they don't go beyond 41 centimeters of water. So if I really wanted to push Joe and train him at that typical range, I'd have to use a different device, or I really couldn't use this one. But again, we're gonna use 30% of his MIP at 30 centimeters of water just to be safe. Okay, so Joe, I have this here. So we have the nose clips. Based on patient comfort, you can use them or not use them. We're gonna use them here again, just so we know that all the resistance is gonna come just through the device, okay? So Joe, I'll have you clip your nose there. And we're gonna go for 30 breaths. That's a typical protocol. Again, if patients can't do 30 breaths, we can adjust the resistance up or down, or you can just break up the number of breaths. So we're gonna try for 30. I'm pretty sure Joe's gonna be fine here. Again, always checking to make sure they're not lightheaded. You don't want them to hyperventilate. Again, slow breaths, controlled breaths with each rep. So Joe, we're gonna set this here at 30 breaths. And any questions? Oh, all right, let's give it a try. Okay, so actually Joe demonstrated something that we want to keep an eye for. So if we see or hear that sound, that kind of a rubbing noise basically, or friction noise, it means the valve's not opening cleanly. So the cue you give to your patients actually is, hey, take a bigger breath on that next one so that air flows in evenly. So again, big breaths each time to overcome that valve. That's a perfect rep. Perfect rep. So 30 of it. That's good. Ooh. Good. 3. Good. 4. And again, you can always give them rest breaks if they want to, but Joe's a pretty fit, pretty active guy. Good. 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 Doing okay? Sorry. Sorry. what I'm looking for while he's doing this is looking at, again, making sure that valve's opening, but I'll also be able to hear it, that air flowing in. And that's the advantage of using the nose clips, because the only way air is getting in is through the device. Again, patients can't tolerate it, we'll use a different, we don't have to use them. Are you counting there? Okay, let's just do a couple more. And maybe one more. Good. Great, and I'll take that there for anybody. All right, you can unclip your nose. How are you feeling? Good, good, good. So again, sometimes patients may report a little bit of lightheadedness. So again, we can break up the amount of repetitions. You may also, sometimes patients may feel a little bit of fatigue in their rib cage and actually kind of around the costal margins where the diaphragm kind of sits. So you feel any of that, any burning at all? Or?
No.
Good, good, good. Well, that is, again, threshold inspiratory muscle training. Again, very simple to use, very low cost. You can often send these home with patients to use just in perpetuity. In the next video, we'll demonstrate how to train maybe at a higher resistance for someone like Joe, who's very active, very strong guy, probably a little bit limited by the confines of this device. So threshold IMT. Thanks again, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
All right.